Shalom to the nation of Israel, starting off with the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. And right before I get into this lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach in that Ruel today, and peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry, and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar, coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, and also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations and that may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Once again, Shalom. So basically, I just want to get into a quick lesson, okay, lambacking, okay, off this brother video, okay, which his channel is on the Hopeful Elect 3, okay. You can see the title that he gave this video, Babylon is divided and ready to fall. Okay, when it comes to Babylon, okay, which we come to the understanding, okay, on us that's involved in the truth, that's in the faith and in the ministry, we come to the understanding that this place, America, is known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures, okay, spiritually, and in other, you know, symbolism of ancient kingdoms as well, okay, as Egypt, spiritual Sodom, okay, Nineveh, okay, but mainly Babylon, okay, because America had taken on all the ancient customs, okay, of the ancient empires, okay, and when you look into the word Babylon, Baal in the Hebrew, meaning confusion, okay, and that's what you have here in America, a bunch of confusion, man, okay, and this place America, okay, uh, the word America, okay, a miracle or America means bitter, okay, now we starting to see more and more the coming of division, okay, and civil unrest, okay, people on the edge now, okay, which I'm gonna play this video, okay, and that's all according to end time prophecy, man, okay, or the signs, one of the signs of many that we're on the verge of who the world called Christ, Yahweh Shai, second coming, okay, and at this time we're in the rulership and the coming of the downfall of the biblical Edomites, which are the so-called white race, okay, and the heathen nations at that too, okay, as we're at the end of their rulership, okay, because ultimately this place America is going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles, okay, at the peak of the Third World War, and during the time of Yahweh Shai's second coming by the way of the chariots, what the world called UFOs, which are the vehicles of the angels, and the salvation of the nation of Israel, okay, starting with the elect, which the elect will consider the 144,000 and the 1/3 that destined to be saved here from out of America, and where the elect is scattered worldwide, according to Matthew, the 24th chapter, verses 29 through 31. Okay, because according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, 2/3 of Negro, Latino, and Native American descent is going to be cut off and judged here in America. Okay, when it comes to their non-belief, them not repenting, following after the philosophies and false doctrines of the world, okay, trusting in these false gods, trusting in this system, okay. Yeah, so 2/3 of our people are gonna be cut off and judged, okay. And now we're at the point in time, as you know, civil unrest about to take place, civil war, okay. We coming in the time as well of these elites, okay, Esau, Edom, trying to forge the NWO, okay. And part of their agenda is to cause order out of chaos. So they want chaos so they can bring order. Okay, and they're gonna back it up by the way of their sword, man. Okay, which is the blessing of the Edomites. Okay, when it comes to the military might. Okay, we about to experience the time of martial law, curfews. Okay, detention centers. Okay, checkpoints. Okay, when all hell break loose, man. Okay, a financial crash. Okay, and one of the main or key prophecies that we about to come to pass, about to witness. Okay, it's the coming of the RFID microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast, according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. That's going to replace the physical dollar as these elites ready to move forward with a digital currency in a digital format. Okay, as they ready to collapse the dollar. Okay, and we always give that stern warning to you Negro, Latino, Native Americans not to take that RFID micro or the mark of the beast. Okay, which we say the MOTB. Because the ones of our people that take it, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, could be cut off and judged, okay, by the way of thermonuclear missiles and on the fires from the chariot, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. So we coming in these times, man. Okay, these crucial times, man. Okay, but us are the hopeful elect. Okay, we know that Yahweh Shemal Shah is going to be the covering for his elect when it comes to the trials and tribulations. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and play this video. I'm going to get a couple of scriptures, and I pray that the lesson is edifying.
What's gonna happen to us? I'm sitting in this parking lot, depressed as shit, because I'm watching my country fall. I'm watching one group pull this way, I'm watching another group pull this way, and sooner or later the rope's gonna break. You know it, I know it, we all know it, we're just waiting for it to happen. It's been breaking for fucking years. We're just waiting for the rope to break. There's no meeting in the middle. This group's going this way, this group's going this way. And a country that's doing this, we don't survive this. I don't know how this country survives this with nobody getting along. Families not getting along. Friends not getting along. Everybody hating everybody. Folks, we don't survive this as a country. I just don't think we do. How? All of a sudden, her feelings are over and we all come together and have a big fucking party? No, it's never gonna happen. You know what I know, and it's never gonna happen. We are watching the downfall of America, and it makes me sick that my grandkids are not gonna live in the same fucking country I did, and grew up in this beautiful fucking nation, because nobody could get along. I'm done today.
Hey, so you see the reaction of people on social media that's venting, okay, about how, the society is crumbling, okay, which is all biblical prophecy, man, okay? Once again, America, okay, if I, make mention of it, America means bitter, okay, which is a omen nomen or name prediction, okay? And it's going to get more and more bitter, okay, to these citizens, man, okay, especially when it comes to you tribes, man, okay, as we're approaching Jacob's trouble, okay, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, okay, but you heard that individual, okay, it's, like I say, such as many, getting on social media and venting how things are getting worse here in America. Ain't no future for here in America. How things look dim, okay? But that's all biblical prophecy, man, okay? And so this place ain't gonna bounce back, man, okay? Due to all the wickedness that this place uphold, okay? And he make mention of, basically the government in a roundabout way, okay? You got one party on one end, and the other party on the other end, such as, the Democrats and the Republicans, which they both do the bidding of the elites, okay? Now that you got, Donald Trump in office, okay, a lot of these megas, they divided, okay? There's division on all levels, man, okay? He made mention of certain family and friends being divided, okay? Okay, so we just coming to the point of anarchy and all hell breaking loose, man, okay? Let me see, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the scriptures. And so the Lord come back to bring division. Okay, contrary to the popular belief. Okay, because you know they teaching Christianity that who the world called Christ is coming back to gather all nations and bring peace and harmony. Okay, not so, man. The only ones that's going to be gathered together is the nation of Israel, stamped with the elect on one accord. And Yahweh Shema Shai being the covering of the elect. Okay, this is Luke chapter 12, verse 51. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. Okay, although I don't have the red letter Bible, okay, on this app, but this is Yahweh Shai speaking. Luke 12, verse 51. Suppose that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, meaning no, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son against the father, the mother against the daughter against the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. He's simply just the Lord saying there's gonna be division here in the last days, man. Okay, and that's what we're witnessing, man. Okay, that's gonna ultimately gonna lead to civil unrest. Okay, clash wars, civil wars, clash wars, race wars. Okay, you know when it comes to all hell breaking loose, man. Okay, and in the time of martial law as well. Okay, this place about to experience food shortages, famine, pestilence. Okay, especially when it comes to famine, the lack of bread, the lack of food. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this. This is Second Esdras chapter 15. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. I made mention of the famine, the coming of the food shortages and everything. Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Going to your local grocery stores, retail stores, marketplaces, okay, restaurants, okay, all that's about to come to a halt, okay, or the limit of resources, man, especially when it comes to food, okay, and how they set things up now when it comes to these elites, they want everything to operate, okay, coming to the point of a digital system, okay, centering around once again Revelation chapter 13 verse 16, the MOTB, okay. And that's the only way that's the only way you can be able to operate within that system. Okay, the talks of Planeteer, okay, smart cities, okay. Now you hear about the 6G, okay, you know, data, okay, analysis, okay, universal basic income, diligent, digital wallet, okay, carbon footprint, okay. And so when it comes to certain stores, they're not going to accept cash, okay. Then there's going to be a limit of food, okay. That's going to lead to famine, which is going to lead to the domino effect of people, uh, um, being violence, okay. And it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear, they shall be suddenly afraid, okay. And the alarms, okay, the news, and they mainly start with the prophets blowing the trumpet, okay, or Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, okay. But when it comes to the news, okay, breaking news, okay, more strict legislations, okay. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, okay, division, okay, even amongst friends and family, okay, individuals, okay, when chaos break loose, man, okay, And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay? And so the lack of resources, man. Food, water, okay? Electricity, okay? The toss of the grid, okay, going out, EMP attack or cyber attack, okay? And no gas, okay, for your cars, okay, or for your uh, uh, house, okay? And it says, whosoever remain from all these things that I had told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. And it's going into Yahweh Shemal Shah delivering the elect, okay, as we're approaching the end of Esau Edom world, okay, or rulership, okay, and it's going to go out by the way of violence, okay. Well, that's on, matter of fact, let's get that. I just, flowing through the spirit. I ain't had no, scriptures put together. Let's get that. That's on Revelation 18. Revelation chapter 18, verse 20. Rejoice over her, and the her going into America. Okay, and the ones that's going to rejoice is the elect of the nation Israel, especially mainly when Yahweh Shai return to deliver the elect. Okay, rejoice over her, thou heaven. Okay, once again, the her is America. Thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. Okay, the elect. For Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, have avenged you on her. Yeah, because this place is known as our captivity. And we being ruled by our enemies. Okay, when it comes to Esau, Edom, and these heathens. Okay, we know the shameful history of America, how this place was built off the bloodshed and the enslavement of the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and all the wickedness that's still going on, all the blaspheming, okay, when it comes to this system, okay. And so the Lord gonna bring recompense, start with destroying this place of America. And these heathen nations, start with the elites of Esau, Edom, and these heathens that remain after the aftermath of the Third World War, and they're gonna go into captivity. Okay, all the heathen nations, okay, and we're gonna rule over them, and they're gonna build our land up, which I have to say, the land of Israel, okay, because the land of Israel right now is occupied by phonies, and that land gonna be cleansed by the way of fire, okay, just to be cleansed so we can inhabit our land again. And these heathen nations, start with the Edomites, start with the elites, gonna build it up, okay. And the heathen nation that perish on this side, they're gonna come back in the kingdom, being servants, okay. They're gonna be born, okay, through the heathen nations, okay. When it comes to the heathen nations that perish on this side, they're gonna come back through their bloodline in the kingdom to be servants, okay, which is a reincarnation. And the 2/3 of our people that perish on the side, they're gonna come back in the kingdom, being sons and daughters of the elect, which they're gonna inherit righteousness, okay, once our kingdom is established. But it says, verse 21, the point, a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea. And that's going into those nuclear missiles, okay, destroying this place, America, okay, and those that be destroyed by those missiles, okay, when it comes to these heathen nations, like I said, the 2/3. And it says, saying, this with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. So this with violence, that's what's coming, man, violence. Okay, and America always, it was built off of violence. So it's going to end by the way of violence, man. Okay, every day, okay, you hear heinous crimes and violence taking place in this place, America. Okay, and so the ultimate destruction gonna come by the way of those missiles and the chariots. Okay, so with violence, man. Okay, so you ain't gonna get no better for this place, man. So let's get this. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14, and it says, "Woe." I start at 14. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And the word woe means destruction. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. Okay, and the mighty day sword, which we know the sword is an instrument of war. Okay, and when Ezra saw this, he he's seen the monody of war, okay? When it comes to, the guns, okay? Because they didn't, of course, Ezra didn't have the terminology or the vocabulary word gun back then, okay? But when Ezra saw this vision, it was going into the times now, okay, of modern day warfare, okay? For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, okay? So division, okay, race wars, clash wars, civil wars, okay? The third is World War, okay? For there shall be sedition among men, okay, uproars of the people, sedition, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor their princes, okay, the government, okay, your modern day kings and princes. In the course of their action shall stand in their power. So people gonna take matters in their own hand. Okay, survival of the fittest. Okay, of the fittest. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's where you're gonna have your travel bans, the curfews, checkpoints, martial law, detention centers, the smart cities. Okay, AI, robots, super soldiers. Okay, yeah, it's about to get that bad, man. Okay, to the point the Lord gonna have to lift up a standard according to Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. Okay, the Lord having spiritual intervention for his elect. Okay, when it comes to that, miracles and spiritual power, the Lord gonna grant certain men, okay, to be a covering, okay, to be to be delivered. Okay. And it says, for because of of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, so we come into no times, man. Okay, but the Lord gonna be the covering for his elect. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay, when it comes to Esau Edom on sword, okay, when it comes to their martial law troops, okay, they foreign troops, martial law troops, okay, the EU, or I'll say the UN, okay, UN troops, okay, like I say, super soldiers, AI technology, robots, biological warfare, okay, drones, okay, then you got the average, the tanks, okay, war, okay, when it comes to uproars of the people, okay, and Esau, the Lord gonna put the spirit on Esau Edom, to spare none, okay, when it comes to the 2/3, and when it comes to the average American citizens, the only ones that's gonna be exempt is the elect, okay. And you even gonna have certain elect members that's gonna be martyrs, okay, that's gonna be beheaded, okay. John saw that and wrote it in Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. Those that was beheaded for not taking the RFID micro, okay, but the ones that be martyrs, okay, and die in the faith of Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna be the first ones risen up when Yahweh Shai return to gather the rest of the elect that's not gonna taste of death, okay, because not all the elect is gonna be destroyed, okay, or I say not gonna die, okay. You're gonna have certain elect men, okay, and men, women, and children that's gonna be reserved for slavery. For salvation, not slavery, salvation, to be delivered from this captivity. Okay, but those that die in the faith gonna be the first ones risen up. Okay, and it says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Okay, and your martial law troops. And then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. It going into the ultimately the elect, okay, being delivered. Okay, because you got Israelite camps out here talking about some ain't no Jacob's trouble, okay, putting the day of the Lord off, It's all about prosperity. Okay, it's all about mirth, partying. Okay, now we're approaching the evil days, man. Okay, which the word evil mean bad times, man. Okay, and only the elect gonna be delivered. Okay, then this Lord said, then they shall know who are my chosen. Okay, going into once again the Lord lifting up that standard. Okay, and being that once again, well, I'm gonna finish this. Hear, O ye my beloved, say the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is your guide and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, said the Lord God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. And that's going to the elect. Okay, the exhortation for the elect. Okay, when it comes to these scriptures, applying these scriptures and knowing the times that we're in. Okay, also the hopeful elect. That we know that Lord gonna be a covering upon us, man. Okay, the Lord gonna lift up a standard. Okay, the Lord gonna make a man more precious than fine gold. Okay, and be with his elect men. Okay, then right along with the rest of the men, women, and children of the elect. Okay, and especially when the Lord lift up that standard and form those miracles, man. Okay, in the form of spiritual power, man. Okay, Isaiah 4:1. Okay, when it comes to the elect women being gathered to the elect men and the children. Okay, the Lord setting up the elect men to be a guide as well to certain men that have family. Okay, when it comes to their household. Okay, when it comes to the women, their children. Okay, because the Lord said that His servants is going to eat, His servants is going to drink and rejoice. Okay, when it comes to the scriptures, man. But for majority of our people, and when it comes to the 2/3 and the average American citizens, and when it comes to these heathens, the Lord gonna bring judgment upon them. Okay, and that's what it is, man. That's what the scripture says, man. Okay, because the Lord only concerned and care for His elect. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 9. Okay, and that's the number that we striving to be part of, man. Okay, also the hopeful elect. Okay, and so we in these times, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here. And I pray that lesson will edify. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.